We think talent is everything. Oh, she's just naturally gifted, he was born with it. As if the rest of us should call it a day. We chase motivation like it's some magic pill, and the second it wears off, we start convincing ourselves we'll start tomorrow. We quit too soon. We crumble at failure. We're terrified of not being enough. And yet, we obsess over overnight success stories. Newsflash: most of those overnight successes were grinding in obscurity for a decade. But we don't want to hear that. We hit a plateau, get bored, and whisper to ourselves, "Hey, maybe this just isn't my thing." We chase approval instead of building real drive. We want rewards without the sacrifice. And worst of all, we're haunted by the fear that all our effort might be wasted. Here's the punchline. None of those problems are solved by talent, luck, or quick hacks. They're solved by grit, the boring, unsexy, stubborn combination of passion and perseverance. And grit matters more than talent, more than motivation, more than raw intelligence. We'll explain what grit is, and more importantly, how you can actually develop it, inspired by Angela Duckworth's book, Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. Because your goals don't need more chasing, they need finishing. Part 1. What is grit and why it matters? Action 1. Show up. Grit is not talent. Talent alone won't carry you through the long road to success. As Duckworth says, our potential is one thing. What we do with it is quite another, and gritty people. They just keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when everyone else taps out. That boring consistency is what separates achievers from dreamers. Consistency is boring, which is exactly why it works, because no one else sticks around long enough to compete. Action 2. Don't get distracted by talent. We binge shows like America's Got Talent, drooling over people who look born for it. And then we downplay our own abilities because we're not a Mozart clone or 6'9" NBA prototype. Sure, real limits exist. Most of us won't dunk like LeBron because we are way shorter than him. But effort can take you further than you think. With consistent work, you can outperform 90% of people, because most people quit. And here's the kicker. Talent actually tricks people. The naturally gifted often stop once things get hard. Meanwhile, the grinders keep building, brick by brick, until they pass everyone else. Talent might open the door. If you can quickly learn a skill, more doors will open for you. But grit doesn't just knock at the door, it changes the locks and puts its name on the lease, the long-term lease. Action 3. Realize that effort counts twice. Here's the mic drop idea from the book, Effort Counts Twice. Talent multiplied by effort equals skill. Skill multiplied by effort equals achievement. Translation: talent without effort is wasted potential. Skill without effort is unmet potential. They could have done this but didn't do anything. Effort is the multiplier. Average people with insane effort, they win. Every time. Because if you have insane effort, you are no longer average. That's how discipline beats motivation. Don't quit too early. Effort counts twice in achieving the skills you want. Action 4. Determine where you stand on the gritty scale. Grit isn't about working yourself into exhaustion. It's about loyalty to long-term goals. Passion here isn't about butterflies and fireworks. It's about sticking with something after the honeymoon phase dies. It's falling in love and staying in love, which can be harder. Grit takes stamina. It takes years. Enthusiasm, that's everywhere. Endurance, rare. Gritty people anchor their lives around one mission, the rest of us. Our goals are scattered like confetti after a party, all over the place and not building anything worthwhile keeping. 5. Grit grows. Good news, grit isn't fixed. You can build it. In fact, the older you get, the more grit you usually have, because life already beat you up a few times and you learn to push through. Duckworth says grit grows from 4 elements. 1. Interest. You've got to love what you do. 2. Practice. You commit to getting better. 3. Purpose. It must serve something bigger than you. 4. Hope. Resilience to keep going when everything sucks. Sounds simple, but living it? Not so much. But lean into these and watch your grit compound. Part 2. Growing grit from the inside out. 6. Interest. Follow your passion is cute, but real passions aren't found. They're built. First comes curiosity, then practice, then obsession. People expect lightning bolts, but the truth is, you stumble into passion by doing, not waiting. So stay curious, keep poking at things, stick with what interests you. That's how grit sparks. And if you want to spot grittier individuals in your workforce, remember that gritter individuals stick with their careers longer. 7. Practice. Gritty people practice differently. Not just show up and log hours practice. Deliberate practice. That means 1. Setting a stretch goal. 2. Going all in. 3. Getting feedback fast. 4. Refining. 5. Repeating. It's not sexy, but deliberate practice turns amateurs into masters. It's how 2 years of intentional effort can outshine 20 years of autopilot and practicing the same thing over and over again. And here's the secret. Deliberate practice isn't punishment. It's addicting, because every rep makes you better. That's how grit grows alongside skill. 8. Purpose. Purpose is like rocket fuel for grit. Imagine 2 people laying bricks. One says, "I'm laying bricks." The other says, "I'm building a place of worship." Same action, different meaning. One burns out, the other endures. If you believe your work matters beyond your ego, grit stops feeling like torture and starts feeling inevitable. Purpose turns hard work into fuel instead of punishment. It's the difference between breakthrough and burnout. 9. Hope. Hope isn't blind optimism. It's a gritty person's secret weapon. Yeah, this sucks, but I'll figure it out. When life slams you into a wall, hope whispers, "Cool. Climb it." Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." Growth mindset ties in here. Believing you can improve is the ultimate cheat code. Every setback becomes training. Every failure becomes fuel. Your ability to learn is not fixed, and it can change with effort. Part 3. Growing grit from the outside in. 10. Parenting for grit. If you want gritty kids, stop bubble wrapping them. Give them warmth, yes, but also high expectations. Duckworth calls it wise parenting. Structure plus love plus discipline. The message. I believe in you enough to make you finish. You are supportive, but you also have expectations of them. And it's not just for parents, teachers, mentors, coaches. Anyone can model grit. 11. The playing fields of grit. Sports, music, theatre, clubs. Any structured grind where quitting is easy but sticking through is life-changing. These activities hardwire grit because they force you to face discomfort, repetition, and failure. Your body naturally wants to conserve energy, but grit pushes you past the discomforts. Every rep screams, effort pays off. And once you experience that, you start craving challenge instead of avoiding it. It becomes an addiction, but a productive one. And over time, you start to seeing proof that effort pays off. 12. The culture of grit. Culture is contagious. Hang with quitters, you'll quit. Hang with gritty people, you'll level up. Families, teams, companies, when they build a no excuses, high standards environment, grit spreads. And when grit spreads, greatness compounds. Grit isn't everything, but it's the most underrated predictor of success. So here's the questions. Will you keep showing up when motivation dies? Will you stick with your goals when distraction tempts you? Will you practice smarter, not just longer? Will you find purpose and keep hope alive when failure hits? Drop a comment. Tell me how you practice grit to escape the average life. Because in the end, talent is cute, motivation is fleeting, but grit, that's unstoppable.